Okay, let's talk Knicks. They need to make a trade, although I don't know if that trade is going to be as big of a splash as some Knicks fans might want. Knicks fans have had some talks about should Randle be traded and that whole spiel, and I just don't know if a move's really going to be there, man. I mean, we've all seen the body language from Randle recently, which has really not been good. The guy has given off some big, I don't feel like coming into work today energy. And of course, you've got the shot selection and the fadeaways and the pull-up jumpers and me constantly screaming about why are you not putting him in as many screen actions as possible, because then it might encourage him to cut to the rim a little bit more. Although even with that, a lot of the time Randle still elects to go to a pick and pop that does not look very encouraging, so maybe I'm just yelling at the clouds there. I don't know what to make of Randle. I don't know if it's a sign of internally the Knicks are maybe not as chill as we think, or it might just be Randle specifically. I've seen some Knicks fans bring up trading Randle for Fox. I really doubt Sacramento's going to line up for that sort of thing. Before more trade stuff, I do want to talk about RJ for a little bit. He has had an interesting stretch recently where the shot attempts are much higher, the point totals are higher, the efficiency is up and down, to say the least, but the free throw attempts are also higher, which is very encouraging for me. In the Cleveland game, he had a number of possessions where he was switched on to Mobley, and he actually beat him in one-on-ones. That was pretty encouraging. He had some plays against the Bucks where against Giannis's drop coverage, he did draw some fouls. There was one play that was intriguing where they ran a double screen, I think that's what it was, to get RJ past Drew Holiday on a pick and roll. To me, it's got to be more of that stuff. There's been times where he starts in the corner and then they get like a down screen for him or whatever, up to the top of the key, and then he gets into a handoff action. I feel like RJ Barrett's development is the most important thing on the Knicks moving forward. The other thing is that Obi has also had some moments where he's running hard in transition against the Heat, or he's just cutting during a half-court possession that's going nowhere, randomly setting a screen, or running some handoff actions with like Quentin Grimes against the Cavs on a play that was going nowhere, and then he's cutting to the rim and finishing around Mobley. Randle and Obi Toppin have played 0 minutes together in the Knicks' last 15 games, which to me speaks to an issue that has been a thing throughout Tibbs' career, his lack of diversity when it comes to lineups. I mean, of course, the hope is that you can turn Evan Fournier into something. One trade I've seen proposed is Evan Fournier plus a second rounder, or maybe multiple second rounders, to the Clippers for Eric Bledsoe. Because, of course, Bledsoe's last year is only partially guaranteed at about $4 million, so that would save you a lot of money. Don't know if the Clippers would want that, but that or something similar to that, you can find other examples of that around the league, I'm sure. So there is a chance that the trade the Knicks end up making, it could just be a money move, which is not very fun in the moment, but could help them out down the road. Although I guess simply losing one guy out of this rotation could be a good thing, open up more minutes for Obi, possibly Cam Reddish as well, who has just barely played since the Knicks traded for him. Although now that I think about that, would Tibbs play Bledsoe? I feel like he would. Again, that's the boring one. The slightly more exciting would be Miles Turner or Jalen Brunson. My gut on Turner is that the Pacers would be asking a little too much for the Knicks. I feel like they would want Obi or Quentin Grimes or Quickly and probably a first, and I just don't think the Knicks should do that. As far as Brunson, I understand his contract is the way it is with the Mavs only being able to offer him a certain amount on an extension, but Dallas still has his bird rights, so they can pay whatever other teams are willing to pay for him in the offseason. I guess if they're just terrified of going to the luxury tax, then that could open up the possibility, and I do think a guy like Brunson could really help them. But my guess is if Dallas is going to move Brunson, it's going to be for something pretty awesome. Could you perhaps get, let's say, Goran Dragic? Okay, that's interesting. The Raptors are going to want something that they actually like in return, and who knows if Dragic can even help you at this point, but okay. I would like to talk about Emmanuel Quickly for a little bit. The most interesting thing with Quickly to me is that his assist-to-turnover ratio through 2 seasons is really, really good. And there are times where he busts out these really nice bounce passes to guys cutting in the lane, or he'll notice a shooter in the corner. It's interesting stuff. His shot selection is also a bit iffy. The guy loves his threes. When it goes in, great. When it doesn't, not so great. I mean, it's pull-ups, it's step-backs, it's that whole spiel. His inside scoring has pretty much been non-existent. Let's just call it for what it is. He's an interesting year 2 player, and I'm very intrigued by what his potential contract extension will be at the earliest after next season. But yeah, that's about all I got on the Knicks, man. I think the best thing is improvement internally, really. Like just getting Julius Randle back on track through hopefully just some different play calling that is not just isolations and basic post-ups, as well as probably looking to get off of the Fournier contract or Kemba or Alec Burks and opening up more minutes for Cam Reddish, Obi Toppin, Quickly, whoever it may be.